As Trump continues to pull initiatives that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, everybody knows it as that, former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg weighed in with a take that surprised some people. Watch.
What do we mean when we talk about diversity? Is it caring for people's different experiences and making sure no one's mistreated because of them, which I will always fight for? Or is it making people sit through a training that looks like something out of Portlandia, which I have also experienced, and it is how Trump Republicans are made, if that comes to your workplace with the best of intentions, but doesn't actually get at what actually matters here, what's actually at stake.
So do you agree with him that DEI initiatives drove voters to Trump? And what else can be done to make sure everyone is represented on an even playing field?
You know what I think?
What do you think?
I like Pete, of course, but I think he got that so wrong, and I think it was so tone deaf, considering what's going on. All of it. I thought all of it was tone deaf, because what happens is when from 1776 to 1965, you have basically white men in charge of everything, right? Women, people of color, we're left out of just equality of opportunity, that sort of thing. And I think when that equality starts popping up in terms of diversity program, equality now feels like oppression to those people who were at the top of the ladder, not necessarily because of their merit, but because of their identity, right? And so in my view, when you look at the stats, it is really clear from McKinsey, actually, a consulting firm that Pete used to work for, that firm found that companies with more diversity financially and socially outperform those that are less diverse. So the business case for diversity, equity, and inclusion, it makes sense. And I think we can all agree that we want our workforce to reflect what our world looks like.
I think he does too, though, don't you?
No, I think he does. But my question, really, I think we need to reframe the discussion. If the problem is these programs, what is the solution? Should we just then depend on the benevolence of Elon Musk and white billionaires to hire women and people of color?
No.
Should we just depend on corporations to, on their own, make the workforce more diverse? They didn't do it from 1776 to 1965. Right. Why do we think it's going to be any different?
I think you hit on something important, which I genuinely believe most Americans, and I think everyone at this table, thinks that workforces, organizations are stronger when there's diversity and representation. What he's getting at, I think, is how do you actually achieve that? And I think that in this era, there's been almost this DEI industrial complex. And it's funny you mentioned McKinsey, because a lot of consultants get hired by big corporations to make people feel really good that they're achieving diversity, because they put on a seminar, because you watch something, because you said Latinx instead of Latina. And I don't know that there's actually huge metrics I've tried to find, because you can cherry pick and you can see them, that is actually working. What I would love to see is culturally people wanting to have diversity that's across the board, socioeconomic, racial, that people's lived experience, their religion, so that workforces do look like America. I think that's a perfectly reasonable place. And I think that's what he was saying. I don't think he's saying that we need to end any programs that include more people.
I'm going to take this from a different angle, because, okay, so Pete Buttigieg here was at the Institute of Politics, which is run by David Axelrod, our colleague and friend, respected political strategist, and he was responding, Pete Buttigieg, to a question by Axelrod, basically saying that the DNC had turned into a caricature of diversity, equity.
And looking at the former Secretary of Transportation, Buttigieg, concerning the DEI, he tried to give his own diversion that the DEI is a lot of laws, a lot of teaching, training, which does not even affect the people in need, like the people who are working. So looking to his point of view, it's not even beneficial. It's just that thing to make a differentiation between people. But it doesn't even apply that it's going to work for the system. To him, he don't really support it. The women in the views all have their own different point of view. The DEI was very essential. To some people, it's going to bring all the qualified people. just as Donald Trump, according to President Donald Trump, which said that it's going to bring the qualified people. There's a lot of unqualified people who are working in the system, whom they don't have to work. So a lot of companies like Walmart, Target. Walmart, for example, have already, there's no DI, so if they don't hire diversity again, so it's not a must, so they decide who to hire. So they can decide and choose any person of color there. With DI, it helps a lot of people, a lot of diversity, which make America to be where which it is. People from any part of the world, mix people from every part of the world come and meet, and they are meeting together. They try to form one big happy family, which is something which is difficult. That's what makes America to be very unique, because you see people from Europe, people from Africa, people from Asia, people from Australia, people from South America, North America. They meet. All in meeting, they come and they form a one big coalition. They all agree to a particular constitution that have been written by the forefathers, and they all try to apply, and they can live together. So people come with their mixed idea, a lot of diversity, different strengths from different areas, different authenticity of their culture. They mix. It beautifies the United States. That is why the United States is different from every part of the world, just because of this. So but what is happening now, according to the women in the View, they are trying to take this flavor out of the United States. Taking out this flavor is going to create that gap. It's just going to make it lose the taste. It's going to make it ordinary, not extraordinary. Because what make the United States extraordinary is this different culture, different people. They all come together as bond as one, and they wrap themselves together. They form at one big army. You come with this strength, I come with this strength, we come with this strength. They will glue it into one, so they exploded. So trying to remove all that beauty. So America is not going. That's why no part in the world have ever been able to succeed to win them in many areas, because of different flavor, different people, the enmity. I always say that the foreigners make the country who it is. The immigrants, as they call immigrants, they help with their own flavor to put. In everything, you have the negative, you have the positive. So you have the negative people and the positive people. So you cannot just look only on the negative. So according to Sony reject that. Sony said to her, the DI came into system, and before the DI, the elites have been by the Caucasian. So the minority, which was the color people, did not have voice, positions, even in corporation. So when this come into place, those elites, when the minority were being promoted because of their strength, what they have, they start feeling threatened. So they were not happy that the minority want to be equal to them. So according to Sony's own perspective, that it has always been. So there is no even a remove it to her perspective. That's how it has always. Before the DI, that's what. But the DI come and help to create that gap, to create that space, to try to give the color people dignity, to give them that standard. So what actually do you believe Do you believe in the DEI or you don't believe in it? Let me see your opinion on the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and help share the video. God bless you.